guess we should sort of start by saying the usual, which is how we met. Do you remember? I have a version, but I want you to speak.
Me, what I remember, it was a casting, no?
Yes.
And you came to my place, and I remember I saw your book, I saw your silhouette, absolutely marvelous. And no, I must say, it was like, she is absolutely divine, like very special and characteristic with that long silhouette, the movement, etc. And I don't know if I told you that, but I was sure that you were a dancer at the base. Because the way how you move, you know, it could be only that, you know.
Well, I was your polite stalker. I used to hang outside your studio in Paris, not as a model, but as just a human being interested in you.
Oh.
Yes, so, because I used to, yes. So I used to watch you on my TV every Friday night after the pub, underage drinking. We used to record you, and that's how you came into my life, a man in a skirt. And I thought, okay, this is interesting, this is curious, I want to know who this man is. Now, what I want to say is that I did come to see you, but it was the third time that I was actually granted an audience with you, and it was like meeting the Wizard of Oz.
Me, when I see, for example, a girl or a woman that arrive like you, I am so impressed that me, I am shy, and I cannot imagine that it could be the contrary. You know, like to represent something like that, honestly.
Should we talk about your granny? Because I think actually she was the first woman in your life. Was she the first love of your life? I mean, she embraced the fact that you were curious, that you were non-conformist. Was she a big influence in your life?
But she was quite exceptional and quite unique, you know, in the fact that she was a nurse, a loving nurse, and she was also like playing cards, you know, but not only playing, but the tarots, you know, saying 1, 2, 3, 4, you will find that will arrive to you, you know, giving you avenir.
Can you tell me about the corset and what that means to you?
Sometimes, you know, she was going to see a client outside. On me, I have the time, you know, to look at the cupboard and to open, to see feathers, paradise feather, you know, because she was from the beginning of last century, you know, so all dressed in black, always like a death, and always like a widow death of her first, always in black. And I saw like the veil of death, you know, which were very beautiful, you know, those crepe. And I saw also one thing that was salmon, satin, with lace, a lot of, not lace, lace up, you know, to lace up, you know. And I said, what is that? Because the shape was quite strange, you know. And when she came back, I told her, oh, I saw that what it is. And she told me, it's a corset. It's like to make your waist very small. And when I was putting it before, when she was younger, she was putting that corset and she was drinking a little vinegar. So she has a contraction of the stomach and you have to lace it up very tight at that moment, you know, because of the contraction. I find it very interesting.
But your teddy bear, that's another great friend of yours.
You know that,
was it your first muse? Your first muse?
Exactly, it's because, you know, me, I wanted to have a doll, but it was not well seen, you know, from my parents to have a doll for a boy. So I have a teddy bear, so I change a little his, let's say, sex by adding like some conic bra. Before I did for Madonna. Anyway, it was the first one in reality.
Was it paper? Was it newspaper?
It was paper. It was newspaper, you know. Yeah. So I was cutting it in a round, you know, I was attracted by round, I don't know why. Because you know what, there was comment dit-on, un apron, which is on the table, you know. Yes. Even someone in lace, I make a hole in the middle, schlack, and I put it to my teddy bear, and it was a skirt, you know. So there I make something round, cut it on the paper, and put some acupuncture, I mean épingle, you know, like there. It was kind of chirurgy. The monster was born.
Unconventional, again, but indicative of your start, really. This is where your story begins. And you may or may not know that, Jean-Paul, you didn't go the conventional route, did you? You didn't go to college. You were perhaps not given that access. Is that right? Or
I didn't go. I went to the normal one, but I was not so good, let's say. Most of all, I was not good in football. And I remember one story, you know, at school, it was like, you know, I was quite rejected because, of course, I was not good in football. And one time I saw at the TV, you know, the Folie Bergère.
Yes.
And there, it was beautiful because it was the premiere of the Folies Bergère, only one part, they show 10 minutes, and the girls were coming out from the centre, you know, up, with feathers, like fishnet, and like strass, you know, beautiful like that. I was impressed. So the day after, at school, I sketched the girl with the fishnet, with the feathers in the ass and in the head, you know, and the institutrice, the teacher, came just behind me, you know, and she saw what I was doing, you know. So she felt like very not happy at all that I was like doing something, you know, not listening to what she was saying. Oh. So she made me standing up, bang, 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 bang. She punished me with a règle, you know, like that. And after saying, you go here on the little stage, let's say, and she put with the pins, you know, already safety pins, like already punk, you know, well, like in the back of my shirt, you know, she put my drawing and she make the tour of the school, you know, and to humiliate me. But what happened was the contrary.
Yes.
Me that was rejected. Yes, me that I was rejected because I was not good in football. They smiled to me and say, make me a sketch. So later, I understood that in reality, that was like my passport, like to be include or accepted, you know.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Wow.
So I started like that after I say I want to do fashion, and I start to, I didn't go to school, but my school was magazine.
Yeah.
I stole magazine like that.
And
also, and I was
you
like...
You have to be resourceful though,
But
don't
yes,
you?
I wanted definitely to have that. I have not the money, so I was taking that. And it was not so good for a boy like to buy also like a fashion magazine. So I stole it, and I learned from there like what the editor was saying, you know.
Really, when did you become brave enough to produce that collection, to realize it?
In 76. First, I started like to send sketches to all the couturiers. Only Pierre Cardin took me at the age of 18, and after, like 6 years after, at 24, so I started my own collection. And it was a catastrophe.
I was going to say, how did it go? I mean, did you have money to pay people? Could you pay yourself?
Not at all. I have no money at all. So what I have, it was like I was working on doing like some sketch for some houses, you know. So that little, I put it, making done by my concierge, some sewing. Also my mother, my cousin did. And you know what? Another thing is like I was working at Pierre Cardin and Jean Patou. So I met one on the first muse, which was Anna Pawlowski, and she was one girl that was like beautiful and walking in a very modern way, you know, more sensual than the mannequin couture, which were like a very old-fashioned, you know.
But that's not a bad start, is it really?
It's not a bad start. No money, I didn't sell anything, and it was better like that, I think. But I jump, you know.
Yes.
I jump. I should say that maybe if I have the courage to jump, it was also because I have a boyfriend, you know, Francis Menuge, who died since years, but that have confidence in me and show me that, because I should have been like working as an artistic designer for couture, Maison de Couture or something like that. But to make my own, it's because he was there that I feel more confidence. Only one time, you know, I hated the fashion show I did. Only one time. It's the only one you didn't do.
Are you allowed to say this?
You know what? It's the one where I put a puppet. I put like big, long, fake model, like going like that, like big puppet. During the show, it was a catastrophe. Even myself, you know, I took somebody that was knowing to make them move, you know, the puppet, you know. But when we did like a rehearsal, I saw that I was completely crazy, thinking like, you look at that video, look at that one, Erin, how she is moving, try to do the same. That one, how she does, you see the legs, how they are, you have to do that. He was only like... moving so slowly and so incredible that I realized that the nightmare it should be. And after it was like that, and like a kind of mechanic. It was awful. And I say never again that. That is, I say, oh, I am so sorry. I think I even like told you sorry. You know, I make a big mistake because truly I feel like it. And I felt like the clothes were dead. That is the most incredible thing. The clothes were dead. You know.
I mean, yes, I understand.
So
it's nice for me, keeps me in employment. We've spent many, many hours together, haven't we?
Yeah.
Me naked, you draping things on me and your imagination literally unraveling on my body.
Because you are inspiring a real muse. That is, I present you a real muse. What is a real muse?
It's actually really nice, you know, because I've always felt our relationship has been very collaborative.
And I love to have
Yeah.
also your advice. How do you feel in it? If
Yes.
you like or you don't like. Sometimes by your movement you are doing, it gives me an idea also even of to change the silhouette.
Yeah.
Only by your movement you have. You know, you have to be very observative of what you are doing. You know, it's bringing you. That is a real collaboration, I should say.
But it comes back to the idea of couture, that you should be able to move around and enjoy it, and it should fit into the reality of your life. I mean, I remember Kristen McMenemy, she wore those amazing Bird of Paradise wings.
Yeah.
Can you imagine her going to the supermarket in that, taking centre aisle? I mean, that would be a spectacle in itself, would it not?
It should be fabulous.
Yes, maybe we can make it so. Maybe we can make it happen.
Oh yes, that's a good dream. If we could go to the supermarket like that, no? That should be fantastic, no?
We've done weirder things together, to be fair. Right, well, now, seeing as you're here, what is your take on British fashion? Seeing as we celebrated you, what do you think about British fashion? Has Britain got talent?
What I should say, my admiration. You know, to be honest, I mean, like, I love London. I think in some way, England give me back that love in some way.
We do.
I must say that I felt a lot more at home. And I did what I did because of London, because of England, because I felt the eccentricity of the British, the sense of humor, the way of... I remember that I did a collection where I was, at the end, one girl was up, it was a cercueil, not sarcophage, but like, you know, when you are dead, like for funeral, you know, one girl was there and the dress was with fringe of skeleton, you know, in plastic skeleton. In Paris, it was like, you know, taboo, you cannot do things like that. It was absolutely marvelous to see expression of freedom, which I didn't feel at home in Paris. So I love that, and I was truly in love and still in love with the country and London especially.
I think there's a common thread, isn't there?
And the designer, what to say about Vivienne Westwood, of course, what to say about John Galliano, McQueen, of course, that is Hussein Chalayan, which is so fabulous thing. Honestly, I think like it's like a view on knowledge of fashion, of history, and also like the sense of revolution, the punks, or the movement punk. You know, the big changement that has been, it has been through the last big movement. It was a social movement that existed in England.
When we went into the main festival here, it was like you were the Messiah. People were stopping their tracks and wanting to touch you and take pictures of you and paw you. I mean, how does that feel? Because actually, you are now a recognisable celebrity in your own right, whether you like it or not.
Oh, in some way, you know, I wanted to make that profession to be loved. So for me, it's a sign of love, you know, so that is good. And it gives me a big pleasure. I cannot complain about that. On the contrary, I didn't look for it. I didn't do anything for it, but it's arrived like that. So that's good. On this, but through what I am doing, that it's arrived. So I feel like a little more comfortable in my head, in myself, maybe because of that.
And I know you well enough. If we go anywhere, it takes you at least 1 hour to say goodbye to everybody.
But sometimes I speak too much.
But you're so generous with your time. I mean, that must be kind of tiring.
But I think it's important, like also to have like the relation with real people. I mean, like to be connected. I think it's also my food.
Yeah, of course, your nourishment. Exactly.
Inspiration, seeing people like that, always new people.
My final question to you is, what are you most proud of, Jean-Paul?
Well, I hope that I am still myself and not become somebody else. That's the little boy that loves to play with his toy.
Yeah.
And that maybe to show a little like beauty is not unique. There is a lot of beauty around us.
Yeah.
And you have to look, and they can be from any color.
What a lovely answer. There's a lot of people that love you, and I'm one of them. So thank you for being here today. It was such an honour to talk to you.